In this video, we have the one, the only, Mr. Theme Park Wizard. And of course, if we have Wizard on the show, we're talking Universal. We're talking Tram.
Right.
Yeah, we have to, Wizard. I mean, come on, man. You're the Universal guy, you know? So we're talking Tram Tour. We're talking Fast and Furious Coaster. We're also going to dive into, we're gonna switch it up a little bit, and we're also going to talk a little bit about Wish, the latest Disney animated film in theaters right now. So we're going to talk about it. Theme Park Wizard in the house up next on OG 55. Welcome aboard, everybody, to another episode of OG 55. We got the one and only Mr. Theme Park Wizard with us today. Wizard, I want to thank you so much for joining us. If you could let everybody at home know where they can find you on social media, YouTube, and all that jazz.
You can find me on Twitter at Theme Park Wizard or Park Wizard 1. You can buy all my stuff on themeparkwizard.shop. You can check out my podcast, Theme Park Universe, on YouTube. Theme Park Wizard on YouTube, and my Patreon if you want to support my lovely channel. Get some cool exclusive content and free pin. Join patreon.com/club722.
There it is. And OG 55 fans, obviously if you're watching this, you're a fan of the channel, I would assume. But if you remember Mr. Vash Sky, he is the co-host to
Theme Park Universe.
Theme Park Universe. They have the podcast and they have the YouTube channel. So go ahead and check those fellas out on those platforms. So it's YouTube
YouTube, yeah, and the Spotify and Apple. Anyway,
okay.
Podcast. But definitely subscribe to those. But if you get too big, Brian Roberts might copyright infringe me with the Universe name. You know what I'm saying?
He might come for you. Sherman from CBC is going to make the call. Wizard. He's going to say, "Hey, I'll
get a DM, but I'll be the wrong kind of DM."
Exactly.
We've been looking at your Theme Park Universe podcast. Excuse me. Do you know we have a theme park with that name? You're gonna have to take that down immediately, or else $2 million, please. I'm like, can't do that.
yeah, exactly. All right, let's dive in here. Now, this is from our friend Universal Core. He's a mutual friend of Wizard and I. We love Universal Core. Check him out on X. He's an amazing dude. A lot of insight from this guy, but he got a survey actually recently from Universal, and it says here, which, if any, of these movies / intellectual properties would you be interested in seeing as part of the studio tour? Please select all that apply. So we have The Mummy, Animal House, Scarface, Land Before Time, E.T., Oppenheimer, and American Graffiti. I gotta say, Universal, this is a ballsy list.
Right. No. It's funny because a lot of them, as you mentioned before, are like kind of older classic type ideas, not even like a whole bunch of newer IP they give. There's just like a whole bunch of like old school stuff, which is pretty interesting.
Right. Well, I like that. I mean, it's very interesting. I personally, I actually replied to this. I said Scarface would be my choice. I think that'd be kind of dope.
I think that'd be pretty awesome. Like a Scarface, like you don't see that anywhere. That would be like a total exclusive of Scarface, right? Especially during like Terror Tram or something like really coming try to get you. Like that'd be pretty. Cool.
It'd be cool to have that kind of gangster, vibe. But realistically, like I think The Mummy is probably out because you already have the ride,
I'll see, which is interesting because now that I'm more thinking about it, if The Mummy's on this list, does that mean the Mummy ride is long for this world, right? Maybe they're. Right. I heard, I guess the newest rumors out there is around 2026. The Mummy may be out. So maybe this is one of the signs here, like because they're like, Mummy put on this tour, because I know sure they have Jurassic Park and Jurassic World on the tour, but that's just like picture cars, so it's not really like an attraction. But other than that, I mean, they really don't have two attractions of the same. So the fact that The Mummy's on this list, something to know, something to watch.
Yeah, no, that's a fantastic point, Wizard. Is that the fact that Mummy is on that list because they're not gonna look. I mean, Fast and Furious is getting their own coaster, so they're removing it from the Tram tour. So
Mhm.
they obviously have this desire to not do the repeated thing. For them
Mhm.
to add Mummy kind of tells you where their mind's at. That the ride is
Mhm.
probably not long on this earth. So that's interesting. Now, there's been rumors of things. I had you on a few months ago. We talked about the Mummy. There was something that was
Mhm.
rumored to go in that spot, wasn't there?
Yeah, so first it was gonna be the site of Donkey Kong. Then it was gonna be, well, it's still gonna be the site of whatever the expanded land is. But I don't think they know anymore. I think it keeps changing. But something plus Mummy and those four other sound stages will be like a some kind of new land, whether it's classic monsters or something, um, will be there. We just don't know what. But apparently around 2026 it may start to, I guess, try to open for 2028 for the Olympics. So I'll have to keep watching.
Yeah. Well, the monsters thing that's progressing over there at Epic Universe has actually really impressed me. I'll be honest, like look, I give Universal a lot of shit, you know that. But like when they do good,
Oh yeah, but you
the
like the portal?
yeah, I like the portal idea overall with because I think with the portals, I think what you do is you get that Cars Land effect when you walk in and you get that grand reveal. I
Hmm.
think that's really smart to do that with each land. But
Hmm.
especially with monsters, that portal looks really dope with the tree roots and the rock work. I think that was really, really well done. And then so the rest of the area will have like a Transylvania look to it, or what will the rest of
Yeah,
it
it's
look
kind of
like?
like a European, it's like a Gothic European village type of ordeal. Like
Cool.
if you were to take the little Europe section of like the studio tour and like gothify it, that's what it seems like it's happened over there. And it'll
Nice.
probably have like the trees will probably be like I'm guessing I don't know, but probably some of those those trees you see like Disney movies like when you so the evil lair and they're like some wicked trees like scary looking trees. There'll probably be some of those in there. Kind of see that with the roots on the portal, those evil
Yeah.
roots.
It looks different than I expected it to look. It look in a good way. It looks really, really good. Now there's a couple others on here. So Animal House, I don't think that has a chance. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
That's
actually hilarious that it's even not. Like what?
yeah,
I
that's
think
not gonna.
maybe they just had okay. Let's just put 10 spaces in. We have nothing else to fill it with. Right, because IP problem as we all discussed here. So let's just throw in some thing. That's
Yeah,
that.
that's not gonna make it. Now Scarface, on the other hand,
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
now that one, I don't know. I think that one would be really cool. I voted for that one, but again, I just don't know. It's a very edgy property. I don't know if Universal will go with that one, but it would be cool. I would enjoy that if they did it. Land Before Time is like old school Universal animation, which that's a beautiful movie actually. That's
Love
interesting. That would be interesting because that would bring dinosaurs because Universal has a lock right now with the dinosaur thing.
it.
So to add a different version of dinosaurs that's not Jurassic Park, more of a family-oriented animated version of dinosaurs, I think that could be potentially interesting for the Tram tour.
Yeah, yeah, that could be really cool, especially if they did animatronic form besides instead of screens. That
All
could be
right.
some cool and it could almost be like no, a version of like Disneyland's railroad diorama with the dinosaurs type of
Right.
thing. Like, that'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah, that could be fun. That's a fun franchise. E.T., I mean, that's a big one. That's a big Spielberg property. Spielberg has a lot of clout over there at Universal. I know Spielberg wasn't too happy when they got rid of the E.T. ride, so maybe he'll want to bring E.T. back. That's a
Mhm.
possibility. I mean, they sell the most adorable ET merch though. We were
I
there
know you put
recently,
around your little shoulder. That's so cute. It's
and
like
the
Groot,
little
but ET version.
oh, they're adorable, man. He is so ugly, he's cute. It's funny. They got some cute stuff with ET right now. They're killing it with the merch, but maybe they want to do that. Who knows? And that actually the ET the fact that ET's on there might be indicative of maybe the internal numbers for the merch because like we said it's cute merch, maybe it's selling really well in the stores, so they're more open to that property right now.
And it
um
probably is because I mean they obviously make more of it because it's we and you we always see it, so someone must be buying it if it keeps being there.
Yeah, no, it's great stuff. And then Oppenheimer with that's a dark choice though, isn't
I
it?
know, like as I was telling you before, this is like, what are they gonna drop a bomb on us?
I mean, I guess
Bombs
you
gonna
can kind of
shake all
go.
over.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can kind of go like the disaster route, like the earthquake kind of style thing. I don't know. I mean, the movie made $1 billion worldwide in the box office, though. So
Mhm. Yeah,
it's
yeah, man. I don't know. I feel like they'd have to be super careful about that one, just because, like I told you, I feel like could lodge some complaints. I'm like, wait a second, but especially because Universal, at least Hollywood, at least, it's a lot of international tourism from Asia. I don't know how many of those are from Japan, but like, the whole idea of the bomb and then Japan and Hiroshima. Oh man, so I don't know. But
yeah.
hey,
It
maybe
it
they'll
could
go
be
a different approach.
yeah. It could be definitely interesting. I mean, they could get a lot of pushback. I think that with that one potentially. And then American Graffiti, which I kind of put American Graffiti up there with Animal House. I think that's a
Yeah,
real
like
long
I have
shot.
no idea. I don't think that would become.
Now,
Yeah,
now,
like it's another one of those where we ran out of IP. Although, like I said, I mentioned earlier. I mean, besides Oppenheimer, none of that's new stuff. So it seems like Universal in general wants a classic type of replacement for
right.
this, which is also pretty interesting.
It
Because
is interesting, and it
they like
also
the newest new thing.
right. And what's also interesting too is how Universal is known for their monsters, and it's
Mhm.
interesting that they're not included in this, which it points to what you were saying that maybe they're going to
Mhm.
add that area to the lower lot to replace Mummy, so that's why it's not on here.
Yeah, because that's a major problem. It's having its own land, and but there's not, besides the mummy, there's really not one monster in here, which is interesting because the the survey insists a replacement, but know, I'm not sure. I don't think it'll be in the same location or whatever the replacement is, because that whole area is earmarked for the Harry Potter expansion over there. So even if they get a replacement, which I'm also curious why they said keep as is. I wonder. But yeah, the whole area is supposed to be leveled, so it'll probably be whatever replacement is replaced, probably built somewhere else. I would guess, at least.
Oh, that's interesting, and that changes the equation quite a bit because if they were to keep it the way it is
Mhm.
and just swap out the IP, then it would be a screen tunnel.
Mhm.
If they bulldoze it though, like you were saying, and make it Harry Potter, they're rebuilding this thing somewhere else, so
Yeah,
it's
that's like, could
wide
be
open.
animatronics, could be anything, could be a whole like brand new experience, which would be pretty cool. Much better than the screen tunnel, in my opinion. So
Yeah, and it seems like Universal is kind of moving away a little bit from the screen thing, where
even on the tour with the Nope, that's even though not much happens there, it's still a set. I'd much rather
right.
that than a Nope screen.
Yeah, exactly. Nope on the screens. Nope on the screens. Now we're gonna pivot now to the Fast and Furious roller coaster. This is an interesting project, and then you have some images if
Oh
you want to
yes,
share your
let's
screen.
see. Here it is.
Yeah,
Boom.
this
Okay.
is interesting.
So this is from a community post a few weeks ago. Boom.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has renderings and stats. Oh, okay. So as you can see right here, okay. So Universal Shrine is not ready to release the whole rendering, but they had to for the residents, so that's why it looks bad. It's literally just like kind of photoshopped on here. But as you can see, look at Harry Potter. You can see that little 2D graphic. That's crazy. But
Yeah.
so this is presented to the residents, and as you can see, this is right here what the one of the loop, the dive loop over the escalator. So that's the starway escalator number 1 to go to the lower lot, and here's the loop right there, the black track, and it goes under. And this is to demonstrate the scream shields, like the Incredicoaster has, that this will have. So the scream shields right here, it's like they call it a half. There will be 2 of them, a half pipe scream shield, and it's glass to try to make it look exactly like the escalators here, to blend in and to also to the sky, so it's not as noticeable as possible. And then There's a few more here, and they show different angles of. So this is what it looks like from the golf. On the other side of the golf course, there's that scream shield again, and then boom.
So
Here,
it's not like super noticeable, like really from over here.
yeah, it's not supernova, and I think the glass really helps because when it's daytime, it's funny they don't show nighttime photo, but the daytime one at least, you can barely see it, because it's really blends in with kind of the sky, which is good, and the second one would be on this other loop right here, and this is from looking from Hollywood coming down the 101. And there it is right there.
Okay.
And then it shows you like different angles, and that'll be right here. They keep showing this one because this will be the tallest point on the ride. So anything other than that, and this is to demonstrate that the Hogwarts Castle is still taller. So
Yeah.
like the coast won't be like like all over. And then here you can't really see it at all, but this is just the view from this area. I think it's over there.
Yeah.
And then here's the top one and the bottom one. So I think the bottom one's over here, but I think this our favorite building OG will block it. So
look at that, man. See, one day you're the villain and one day you're the hero, right?
Yeah.
I mean, now it's blocking.
It's the opposite of that quote from The Dark Knight. You live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Now you're the villain. You live long enough to see yourself become the hero.
There we go. But in all seriousness, though, like I'm glad you show these, because I was like, even today on Twitter, I was like, oh man, is this going to be kind of an eyesore because it's like on that hill? Mm-hmm. But you can't really see it though from like over like outside of it. I mean, it's barely noticeable.
Yeah, and see, keep in mind, I do want to say, because this is again for the residents, so these are all from very far. So I'm still not sure really how big it is, like when you're on the escalator. No, I guess we'll find that out in the coming months. See how like big this shield and the track pieces are. Because so from the inside of the park, obviously being much more noticeable. Not sure how much noticeable, and not sure how loud. Well, we can kind of have an idea how loud it was when those tests. Yeah, at least from the residents' point of view, it doesn't look like imposing, which is good.
Yeah.
Like I said, Hogwarts looks. Obviously, Hogwarts is more beautiful, but Hogwarts is also taller, so it's more imposing. So that's good. It won't go. Right. I think the residents were most concerned over that.
Yeah, well, and I think what's interesting too with this project is it going around the escalators will kind of create almost like an excitement level while you're on the escalators that doesn't exist now. Mm-hmm. So I think that's kind of interesting, because when you're going down and then you're seeing that thing go around I mean, that would be kind of trippy, right?
Yeah, and it would add some nice kinetic energy, like almost like the Incredicoaster adds a nice energy to the pier area. No matter how people think it looks, I still love the energy of when you can hear the people launching, then it goes over you, and then it goes around you, and then you have the music of the Pixar pier. It's like a whole like vibe. It's like a little party going on. Like it makes you feel good to be there. We have some of that over here, which is cool. And then they also gave us some stats here. They confirmed here that the ride of go will allow for a 360-degree rotation to direct screams away from the community. So we'll have that controlled Guardians of the Galaxy spin. And here's those half-pipe shields we're talking about, 2 of them, in the easternmost and the westernmost loops of the elevator ride track. And then they'll also build apparently a 2.5 football field length sound wall somewhere.
Oh, okay.
For that, and they're gonna fill the track with sand, basically gravel sand, to minimize the sound. So that was some pretty interesting ride stats, because obviously in the middle of a city, so you want to make sure.
Yeah, and it sounds like Universal is being the responsible neighbor and at least trying everything they can to sort of mitigate any kind of crazy. Disney does a lot of that too. I think with the environmental report for Disneyland Forward, there was a lot of concepts in there about like soundproofing the areas that butt up against residentials and what kind of attractions would go in those areas. So
I'm putting the big show buildings to the back so they face the street, which is smart. It doesn't, that way you don't have any terrible sight lines, and then all the sounds this way. And then interesting note, I guess it fits in the MNC evolution plan, the sound. So this attraction will be able to run during horror nights, which is cool. So I'll be able to run till like
Interesting.
1 or 2 in the morning, which is pretty awesome. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, it's a net gain. I mean, it replaced the animal stunt thing, right?
Yeah, Animals and the special effects. So just 2 theaters that Animals were used a lot, but no one really saw the special effects show a lot, so that could have gone.
Yeah, no, those 2 things I think were kind of like, not the most popular. So this is going to attract way more, and it's also it gives Universal a kind of a second chance to redeem themselves after Supercharged, right? Because
or really a third chance, because boy, there's the other Fast and Furious thing on the tour, then Supercharged, and then this one. They finally made something a Fast and Furious that's fast and furious.
And furious. And if it's anything like Cosmic Rewind, I think you'll love it. Like I didn't like Cosmic Rewind just because I'm not like a huge thrill junkie, but I know you are.
See, that's the only thing. I don't mind the roller coaster, but the spinning thing, even the controlled one, certainly could give me motion sickness. Even with the Cosmic Rewind, when we go to Disney World, I'm gonna do it, but I'm like, oh boy, I hope I don't get sick. Like,
well, have you ever done the goat trick on Big Thunder?
Yes.
It's Cosmic Rewind feels like that like the whole time because it's moving you while you're going down, so it's like that G-force is like whoa.
But is it like just like that or worse than that?
I mean, it's more intense than that, but that's kind of like the idea,
Because I don't mind, like that's cool. I'll have to try it. I'm excited, but I'm like, oh boy, I have my little Dramamine just in case.
Well, I mean, everyone in my group, well, myself and Mindy, it was too intense for myself and Mindy, but like George loved it, Dre loved it. We had other people with us that loved it, so the majority was everyone really liked it.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems super cool, that backwards launch. I'm like, whoa, that's nice.
Dude, that was weird too.
I bet.
I never done that before. Like I've never had that sensation, So it was crazy. So, but yeah, I think you'll dig it. I think you will. So, but let's pivot now. We're going to move a little bit from theme parks to the movies. So Wish is the talk of the town on Twitter. Everyone's talking about Wish. It's a big deal right now. I've always been like a fairy tale guy. I like these kind of Disney fairy tale movies, Tangled, Frozen, all these, Little Mermaid, I love them. So I'm curious about this movie. I do have concerns about this movie because I'm not a huge meta person. I'm a little worried that some of the references to the past animated films that they pay homage to in this might be a little too like forced, a little too meta. That's my concern going in. But overall, I think that, overall, I'm excited. I really want to see it. I want to give it a chance. But what are your thoughts on Wish, Wizard? You're gonna check it out? Maybe wait for D+.
I'm gonna check it out in the theater. I mean, I think it looks cool. I like that animation style they're doing. Reminds me of like the Puss in Boots animation type style. Like, looks pretty, and I like that style. I know some people don't, but I thought it was pretty cool. And looks like a classic Disney tale. It seems like what everyone. See, it's funny that way you say Twitter. Because it's funny, it seems like a select group of people. They get mad at Disney for race bending someone or doing something or making a live action film, right? Or an IP or a sequel, and then they have this new original thing that is a totally original character. No race bend, nothing. Seems like exactly what they would want, right? No, it's the worst thing. It's terrible. It's gonna flop. I'm like, what? So I don't know what some of that. Not everybody, but just a selected group of people. You'll see them when you
Oh yeah, you'll see. It almost sounds like a drama.
I bring all the drama, I bring drama,
No, but in all seriousness,
it has the makings of a really good one of those classics and movies, right? The songs, it's a princess, there's all types of people, there's a male lead, it's not just all females. I don't know it seems good enough to me. I'm excited for it.
I think Ethan, I agree with you, because like it's like, okay, so you guys complain when they race swap, right? Like a classically white character or whatever. Then they make an original character a person of color, and then they get mad at that, and it's like, what do you want? Everyone forever was complaining, can we get a real villain? For the longest time, everyone's like, can we just get a real villain, like a baddie from beginning to end? It sounds like we got that with this movie. So what are y'all complaining about? So I don't know. I'm gonna give it a chance, and kind of see. WDWNT Tom. I believe it was Tom. I don't know. It was WDWNT though for sure. He reviewed, or his site reviewed it and said that as a film, it's actually really good.
Mhm.
As
I saw that, but it said to the 100th anniversary, it kind of misses.
right, which I'm okay with that, just because the 100th is only going to be this year. I'd rather the movie stand on its own, because it really has to stand on its own for years to come. I don't really care about the 100th because it's just for the moment. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really matter in 10 years.
It's basically over anyway.
Yeah, I know. They shipped all our stuff away. I think Epcot got our Mickey statue, our 100 Mickey statue.
I'm just glad they kept the fountains by the castle, because those look lovely. Those look lovely. So I hope they keep those like forever.
Yeah, no, me too. Yeah, we'll see. And then they added. We talked a little bit about it today with Marty, friend of the channel. We did a video on it, but they're adding Wish to World of Color.
I saw that. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it seems like they're. It seems like they're very much. I don't know. They feel like they're more confident in this movie than like Elemental, because they didn't really promote Elemental.
Also a great movie, by the way. My girlfriend and I loved that movie.
I loved Elemental, and it's funny. Okay, so we were gonna do a Story Geeks with Jay, right? You know Jay.
Love Jay.
Jay's awesome. He's the man. But when you do a Story Geeks with Jay, you have to come prepared. Like Jay.
Oh no, he's like the deep dive, like every like, yeah, you can't be fucking up there.
No. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch this movie. I'm gonna study it because we're doing Story Geeks. I watched this movie and I'm like, this is a really charming movie. It was really a real kind of a beautiful kind of love story about two people from different kind of worlds, who came together and fell in love. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. It's a smaller film, but that's okay. I don't know.
And
I dug it.
I think Pixar, because a lot of the movies into Disney Plus, right? So to train the people to go back to the theater, because that movie had good legs. So I think they need like 4 or 5 Elemental style good movies. I think people go right back to the theater to see Pixar movies like they used to, because I get there's still a lot of them went to Disney Plus in a row. You train your brain, but all it takes is good hits like that, because we saw how good of it was, like holding like 20%, like 10 weeks in a row, had a good box office. So I say 4 or 5 of those, Pixar will be right back strong at the box office.
Yeah, no, I think so. You get a few of those in. You get the budgets down to like what Universal has. Like when I think Puss in Boots was like 100 million or something like that.
Yeah,
get your budgets down to like 100 million, like Universal does, and then you're cooking with some gas. Now, speaking of Universal though, and speaking of movies, Five Nights at Freddy only had like a $20 million budget, I believe, and it's
insane.
Right, and it's doing good. Are they going to add anything at Universal Hollywood with Five Nights at Freddy, or that we've heard yet?
Probably for I'm guessing probably a Horror Nights house, because they were featured this year at the animatronics. Probably a Horror Nights house would be probably the most I think they would add.
That'd be cool. That'd be an interesting kind of
maybe
house.
Like a themed, probably like one of those, like probably like they have the themed food, probably like the Five Nights at Freddy's themed pizza or something, which would be cool. Yeah,
it's an interesting IP. I could definitely see it fitting in very well actually with Halloween Horror Nights. So I'm sure it's coming. It
now
did
I want
well
to say one thing. It's because we're talking about the Twitter people.
Sure, Twitter people.
Twitter people. Okay, now boy, there's been a lot of debate. Okay, well, actually, I don't see these people, so I must be following the wrong people or just not paying attention. Because I do my Twitters. I kind of just scroll, so I kind of put newsworthy items what my friends are saying, and then everyone else I just kind of ignore. Sorry to everyone else, but I do. Maybe that's why I don't get a lot of Twitter advice, because I just don't. I ignore it. I don't know what they're saying. But my goodness, you had the fantastic Jack, the DSNY newscast man on. Check out that video, please. It's amazing. All hour 43 minutes is fantastic. But you guys talked on Epic Universe in there, right? And I want to come here to reiterate some of these Twitter people and my thoughts here, because these people that continuously say, and I actually I've seen a couple, but that say it's gonna bring anyone else Disney to its knees. PSA, you're kind of ruining it for everybody, man. You're ruining it for me, okay? I just like because there's a new theme park coming. I'm not saying it's gonna bring anyone to their knees, but then, when people keep saying that, people like me that just are excited for a new theme park kind of get roped into that. Oh, you're gonna think, hey, I'm going to Epic Universe in 2025, but I'm certainly going to Disney World too. All right, I mean, you'd be silly not to. They're 7 miles apart. Orlando's like a once in a lifetime vacation for people. Why did you go to Orlando and go to one place? When they're right there. But as you mentioned before, Super Nintendo World here. I know people personally, I've seen it online, but personally that flew down, and people I met when I went to the opening, went to Super Nintendo World, flew from like New York or a different country, and they didn't just go to Universal. They said, "Oh, I'm doing this, then I'm taking a day to explore LA, right? LA's it's not just some sleepy city. You're gonna do things. I'm going to Disneyland. So of course it helps out Disneyland's attendance, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing because that means every park. It probably helps out some people even went to Six Flags after. It's a good thing, but it helps out everybody. So it's okay if people go to Disneyland after. It's not a bad thing. And I know some people online are like, no, they're not going to go there. It's okay. They do. I've seen it. I've heard it. And I think I would do it too. Again, if I'm flying from Japan or China to come here, I'm not going to just go to Disney, Universal, Hollywood, and go home. I mean, that's 13 You want to do everything here. You're going to Orlando. You want to see all the Universal parks, at least a couple of them. And a couple, I get it, 7 days of vacation, maybe 7 days is your max. So maybe you can't do everything, but you pick your favorite Disney parks, you pick your favorite Universal ones, and then you just you're not going to go to one and then just leave, Right. I wanted to give out that discourse to anyone watching. Well, and it people online that are like me and not just like the extreme people, No,
and that's great. And I'm glad you brought that point up, Wizard, because you're right. And it doesn't help. Like when people go on Twitter, right, and they're like, "Oh, it's gonna bring Disney to their knees." It doesn't help Universal either because you're setting an expectation that's not even achievable, and that's not even fair to Universal, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So now you're setting a bar that Universal can't reach realistically, no matter how great Epic Universe is. Mm-hmm. It doesn't help them. It doesn't help Disney. It doesn't help anybody. Let's just look at this as realistically. Now look, they are building a new park out there in Orlando, Disney World. I think they're waiting to see what they're going to do or how they're going to respond. Fine. But they definitely do. And I've been very critical. I think that Daddy Josh needs to get on the ball here and approve something, though. We need hey, look, I'm not even particular about it opening right away. Can we just get some kind of confirmation, Josh? Mm-hmm. Even out here in California. I mean, it's like,
these what ifs and then changing their mind. That's just bad business. As you guys said before, you lose trust. It's like when it's like I'm promising you some over and over again. I'm taking lunch, and then I just never do it. Like you're likely I'm taking you up.
Right. So it's like I don't think you, to your point, it's not going to bring Disney down in Florida, but I think at the same time though, I think Disney needs to start investing again in Walt Disney World, and a lot of
when you do it, Disney, please, you have all that space. Don't replace things. Add to your parks. Come on now.
Come on, the blessing of size, man. It's crazy. We've lost less out here in California.
Mickey and Minnie's is over here in backstage. Okay, they're smallest park with a big ass parking lot. Mickey and Minnie's replaced the most iconic attraction. Make it make sense.
I know it's nuts. Now you're gonna go to Florida when Epic Universe opens in 2025.
Yes, 2025. Me and my girlfriend. Hopefully you are there, OG. We can go to Disney World and George and everybody. We can go to because I want to. See, this is where I'm already trying to tell her 2 years out, but I'm trying to figure out the number of days I can help possibly have. Us theme park super fancy. We want to go everywhere, right? So I'm like, man, if I can't even do it, I mean, these other normal people can't do it, so there's no way, Yeah. You can go to all park, but it doesn't mean I'm just not going to go to Disney because obviously I haven't been to Disney since Disney World since like 2000. 5 or 6-ish. So I've gone all the new stuff, see all the parks, and my girlfriend's never been, so I have to take her.
Oh, man.
You know, and then and they're so close. I mean, my goodness. But yeah, I can't wait. And also, by the way, people, and no just help probably will help out even smaller places. SeaWorld Orlando, that's right there. I'm sure someone's gonna visit SeaWorld Orlando as well as Epic. I mean, when they come to Epic Universe. So not just Disney though, visit. There's a whole bunch. It's Orlando. Again, it's not just some place in the middle of Iowa where Universal is the only thing there. You know?
Yeah.
Okay,
No, absolutely.
other places.
You know, you should do a show. Okay, when you go to Florida and your girlfriend's gonna go for the first time ever.
Yeah, I know, after all her reactions.
Yes, you should come back if she wants to do it. I mean, obviously, not everyone wants to be on camera, but it would be interesting to do a show with you and your girlfriend about her experience. You know, because that's the first time is always like kind of crazy. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially if you don't like have if a first timer for. I mean, she likes theme parks, but she doesn't care about all any Twitter drama. So she likes Universal, she likes Disney, she likes all of it. So, you know, a normie's first time perspective, like, oh, what'd you think? And y'all, that'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, that'd be a cool show. That'd be a cool show. But Wizard, it's always fun having you on, brother. You're always welcome on the channel. I'm gonna link all his socials down below. So follow him, subscribe to him. Like I said, if you have been watching OG55 for a long time, you are familiar with Mr. Vash Sky. That is the co-host to his Theme Park Universe show on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. So check that out. Obviously, he's got the main channel, Theme Park Wizard, you know, doing the construction stuff, updates, and the vlogging and all that great stuff. Even very conversational stuff like this that we do. So subscribe to him, follow him. Wizard, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Always good to be on the OG55.
OG55. So Theme Park Wizard, again, thank you for coming. Thank you all for watching. Comment down below with everything, all your thoughts on everything we talked about down below. And as always, have a wonderful, wonderful